Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining us. I'm Pastor Jeremy, the president of the Food for Hope board, and I want to thank you for watching and being here with us for our 5-year celebration event. We're going to share our story with you and let you know how you can be a part of what we're doing. Thanks for watching.
So we started feeding kids all the way back, or feeding and loving on people all the way back, probably around 2006, 2007.
Did we call it Feeding 1,000 at first, or?
Yeah, at first it was something like Feed 250 or Feed 500 or something like that. And that's where it started. And I look back on those days and I think, wow, God was very deliberate. He was purposeful. And I had no idea it would evolve to what it is today. So we were feeding and loving on schools and feeding kids, and it just continued to evolve after that.
Well, first of all, I remember you saying in a service around, I don't know if we were already doing Feed 5,000 or if it was still Feed 1,000, but it was one of the services you were like, I just feel like we're Superman, and we're swooping in and we're helping everybody once a year. But really your heart, and mine too, was that we should be helping people on a daily basis. And then at the same time, it was right around the holidays, there were these commercials on the radio that were talking about hunger and how somebody right down the street from you might be hungry. So I was getting all of these messages, again, God really planting these seeds that we need to do something. And so I talked to the city manager, and he said, really, the best thing you could do is reach out to the faith community. Fast forward a few months, and I started having these stakeholder meetings to talk to people about issues in the city, whether it was development or transportation. But one of the things I really wanted to talk about was this hunger problem that we have. And so we sent out all these invitations. So you came, and that was so fantastic. And we just talked about the problem, and you tell your side of the story, like what you got out of that.
I remember that meeting, and we talked about hunger, and there really wasn't a solution either, as I recall. It was we talked about maybe some stats and what it was like, and when I left that meeting, this is when I just didn't have a very good pastor-like attitude. I remember walking in the parking lot to my car, and under my breath thinking, why in the world did I come to this meeting? I remember that. So hopefully I didn't communicate that negative attitude at the meeting.
You did not.
But the next day, I had a conversation with a pastor friend that was unplanned, and we were talking about ministry and the challenges of ministry. And he lives at the time he was pastoring in Beaver Creek, Ohio. So I told him about our meeting the previous night, and on his own, he tells me about this program called Feed the Creek. And this program involved exactly what we're doing with Food for Hope. Exactly. So I'm listening to him, and as he's telling me this and how it's just really dominated and overtaken their city, and they're loving on this city, I hung up the phone, and the Lord spoke to me and said, Ruben, you can do this. So I present the idea of this backpack type program where we're feeding kids who require lunch assistance. That was a motivation. And because they eat goldfish crackers for dinner, right? That's where it all was at. So I remember telling our team there, and it just so happened there's this sweet gal from the South on our team, and she was our creative arts director, and her name is Emily Stromquist. So I'm sharing this vision, and I know how she feels already because she has such a wonderful, compassionate heart. So I told her I told the whole team we need someone to oversee it, and I still remember her raising her hand immediately. just stretched out every muscle, and she said, I'll do it. So as I recall, shortly after that, I had a meeting with her and with you in my office. I still remember that. She was on my left, you were on my right. Yeah. And I said, okay, Emily, you take care. You be that director. You lead this program. And Mayor Heidi's going to market it. She's going to help it go. And that was it. And that was May 2014. A lot of stuff happened from then. It was amazing how quickly things progressed.
And we've had so many great church partners in Thornton too, which has been amazing.
Yes.
It's not just Thorn Creek. It's many churches that have, and community members and businesses. But I think there really is a call out there to the faith community to say, it's our job as Christians and as people to take care of each other. And that's what really kind of drove me to want to do it. And I can't do it by myself. I mean, I can go buy groceries for somebody once in a while, but I have to feed my family, right?
Yeah.
And mayor's salary is not good. So, but I think it's just something that we have to do. And so it was very easy. Emily would have us go and talk to other churches or talk to community members. And it was really easy to pitch this. It's like, can you help? Can you spare $5, to provide a meal?
Right.
And then just learning how to source everything and having partnerships like Food Bank of the Rockies. I mean, these are just really cool things we're doing. So
yeah. And I'm glad you brought up partnerships, because we have amazing partners, and that's always been the dream all the way back in 2005, 2007. We love establishing partnerships with different organizations and different churches. And it makes me so happy when I see that organization, whatever it is, and they are taking ownership and they're loving on that school. And all we've done is provide the infrastructure. Yeah. And they are emotionally attached to that school. And that's what makes it exciting for me. And of course, when we pack and we do all of these things, and now in November, it's gone to another level where we feed, 7,000 people in November, and we're loving on all these schools, every family that we're loving on during the school year. So for me, my heart's just full of joy, and I thank God just for allowing me to have a little small part in it. And it's exciting. I also recognize that how strategic God is. God put you in this position in the city, and God was stirring my heart.
Yeah, who would have thought I'd be a mayor?
Yeah. But both of those positions were critical.
Yeah.
And God used, by His grace, God used us to have a little part in it. And now it's taken a life of its own, and it is doing extremely well, and I couldn't be more grateful.
Yeah, I like to say I used my title for good, not evil. I think God works in lots of different ways and through lots of different people's hearts.
Yeah.
And, we couldn't do this without all of our volunteers. And we've had some amazing volunteers over the years, some of whom are still with us. So I think it's just a blessing for so many people. And I'm just thankful I was able to be part of it.
I remember when Ruben, like he said, mentioned the idea of starting a food program in the staff meeting, because it was just like a lightning bolt hit me, and I knew this is my thing, this is what I'm supposed to do. And so we started trying to figure out how to make it work. And I remember starting to ask for donations for a program that didn't even exist yet, but we were telling people what we were going to do. And one day I walked into the church and there was an envelope on the floor and it said Food for Hope. And I thought, somebody actually sent us money. And I opened it up and it was $300. That was the first check we ever received. And I thought, a stranger just gave me money to feed hungry kids. And so that's what I'm going to do. And then hopefully somebody else will give me a check and we'll do it again. And so ever since that day, we've just been working to gain community support. And I think that's what makes Food for Hope special, is that we have volunteers that treat Food for Hope like a job because they're so passionate about it and they love it so much. We have businesses that give sacrificially because they know it's feeding kids who are in their own community. We have churches and schools and organizations that make Food for Hope a priority. And so that's part of the beauty of who we've become, from that first one little check to buying individual canned goods at the discount grocery store to ordering 9,000 pounds of food a week. It's just been a privilege to be along for the ride. 2020 started out as an amazing year for the Food for Hope organization. We had established our first in-school food bank at North Glen High School. Our school fuel snack program was up and running. Our weekend bag program was still going strong. But when schools shut down due to the COVID pandemic in March, we completely lost our access to students. And it put us in a difficult situation because we partner closely with schools to make sure that kids get what they need to succeed in school and to grow into healthy members of our community. But then the district started reaching out to us and saying, we need you. We need you to get food to our families, and how can we work together? And so we had volunteers come, even though they had to wear masks and maybe be around people when they weren't super comfortable doing it. We had to start ordering more food than we've ever ordered at a time, and buying equipment that we've never needed. But it was all because the need had increased so much. And while no one wants to see our neighbors struggle, no one wants to see people in the community not have what they need. So we all said, let's try to do something about it. And so while 2020 and these last few months has been really hard for all of us, it's also been an opportunity to see what we can do when we work together. And so Food for Hope is continuing to respond to the COVID pandemic. We're continuing to innovate new ways to reach families and kids. We've added a third school district so that we're now in Adams 12, 27J, and Westminster Public Schools. We're going to meal distribution sites, to individual schools, and to student homeless communities to make sure they can get the food that they need. 3 years ago, we created the Schmitz Service Award in honor of Dick Schmitz, who was the first volunteer coordinator for Food for Hope. He would do anything you asked him. He helped with the first delivery to McElwain Elementary. He scoured through old canned goods with me. And unfortunately, he passed away from cancer in 2017. So to honor his life, we created this award to give to our volunteers each year who really reflect the passion and the mission of Food for Hope. We are trying to meet the need in the 3 school districts by giving out triple the amount of food that we've given in previous years. And that is why we really need partnerships. We really need people who are in our area who care about the children that live here in the Denver metro area to give to Food for Hope so that we can provide quality nutrition to feed children in need so that they can grow up to be responsible citizens who then reach out and help their community. So tonight, we're showing this video in hopes that not only will you celebrate with us what our community has done the last 5 years through Food for Hope, but that maybe you will choose to be a part of what we're going to continue to do the next 5 years and the next 5 years after that. We want to continue to be here for the community as a resource to make sure that everyone has what they need. Ultimately, the reason that Food for Hope exists is to make sure that no child is going to bed hungry, to make sure that regardless of their circumstances or income level, that every child has what they need to grow and thrive among their peers.
Hi, I'm Darcy with Food for Hope, and I'm here to talk about different ways you can partner with us for our 5-year anniversary celebration. The first way is to log on now to our virtual silent auction. You'll find lots of great items on there. There's local trips, there's family date nights, there's regular date nights, all sorts of great items. So if you have a minute, just pause the video right now and take a look. You might be able to get your hot item right at this moment in time. The next way that you can partner with Food for Hope today is we are looking for 5 one-time donations of $1,000. $1,000 will buy 250 bags of food for kids here in Adams County. And so we're just looking to celebrate our 5 years with 5 one-time donations of $1,000. You can go below in the description and click on the link to make that happen, or any amount that you feel comfortable donating would be amazing. You can also help us today by sponsoring a student for 1 full school year. To do that, it's a one-time donation of $240, or you can just get online and sign up for a monthly recurring donation of $20, which is only really 2 lunchtimes out. You can help feed a child here in Adams County for only $20 a month for 1 year. That's $240. So take a minute again and go to the description, click on the link, and make that happen. Also, please take a look at our social media page, Food for Hope CO. Take a look at that during the week, find out what we're doing here in Adams County for children and families, and also you can find volunteer opportunities on there. So join us today and learn more about Food for Hope. Also, if you're an Adams County business owner and you would like to partner with Food for Hope, please reach out to me and we will make it happen.
Let's stay connected. Whether you want to donate or just see what's coming up next with Food for Hope, just go to the description and click on the link below. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope to see you around soon.